ESPN Northwest Florida.
Rise and shine, campers. It's a brand new day.
What a lovely morning.
Good morning, starshine.
You seem happy this morning.
Morning, everybody. Thanks for coming in early.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local. Live from the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Wake him up.
I stay hot up.
Hey!
Stay hot up. Gonna get you hot up. I'm gonna make it wet. Stay hot up. Rubber dub and hot up. Rubber dub with me. Second hot up.
Yeah!
Really make me sweat.
Yeah!
Second hot up.
Get in!
Really make me wet.
Well. Good morning. Welcome to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Jeremy's freezing me to death.
Jeremy
He comes in here,
56
even in the
degrees
wintertime.
outside. 56.
It's very nice.
He's got shorts on, T-shirts.
All winter long, he come in shorts. I don't think I've ever seen the man in a pair of long pants.
Did you run
Have you?
today?
I did not.
Are you still doing
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I ran 3 yesterday. And got, it was nice yesterday. Gosh, I mean, we're
I'm
starting
still
to...
wearing my long underwear.
Listen, he's defied Montgomery, Alabama. He can do just about anything there is on earth. Any of the people in your church down here causing trouble from Montgomery a couple weeks ago? Hey, speaking of that, I want to congratulate again. We mentioned earlier, but I want to do it again. I'm sure you agree with me. What a fine job our police department, sheriff department, Panama City Beach. What a great job all of them did. They had a game plan to stop the takeover of Pier Park and Panama City Beach. They did a great job. I mean, I can't say enough good things about what a wonderful job all those officers did. If you see one out eating lunch today, buy them lunch, do something. We were at J. Michael's, and I really thought about buying their lunch because I always say that. And then I looked over it, and I started counting. There was 30 of them there for some kind of function. Yeah. I said, nah, I better do it some other time.
Well, and, speaking of the first responders, I mean, they're out there in an unknown, set of circumstances with, credible threats and putting their lives on the line. And, of course, we're all still mindful of our friends over in Walton County, the deputy there, that service will be Saturday. On the heels of all that, a lot of people were on edge, so I'm grateful that nothing, transpired here on the heels of the previous week.
Did you know any of those people were at Walton? Did you?
No, but what an outpouring, from all the agencies and all the...
That's a great community over there.
Yep.
God bless him. All he was doing was asking a guy trying to leave a store, and his life is gone.
Yeah.
I want to ask you real quick, how's everything going down to church? Tell everybody what church you're responsible
First United
for.
Methodist Church here in Panama City, and as we know, we're really right on the cusp of all the things related to Holy Week and Easter, and so we're putting the final preparations in place. We've got a huge Palm Sunday this Sunday, and services through the week, and then 2 weeks, 10 days really now, Easter, and we'll have, I think, 5 services total, maybe 6. I've got to count. I'm losing track.
And I will say this. Jeremy does an incredible job. You can ask Tommy Santamont, he'll tell you the same thing. Well, I got so many friends that go there, just a few of them. The Guatemars love them to death, wonderful people. Craig, his mom and dad, the Seagulls are there. I mean, so many more. You can go on and on, but you really
great group of folks.
You do a great job, and I love the way he always he always ties in. Not always, but I've been there a couple times. He ties in sports with his sermon, which I love. That really makes me kind of...
It's funny you mentioned that because all of my Florida Gator fans were hoping for some illustration Sunday, but
you didn't give it to him.
I didn't deliver.
Roll Tide. Josh, how you doing, the county AD? You looking good.
Thank you.
I saw your father-in-law yesterday. Yep. I said, go Gators. He was pumped up, man.
What a game. Wow.
He was talking a little trash, unfortunately. It was.
How'd it go with that Auburn, Florida game? Did y'all get into it pretty good?
We did not watch it together, we'll say that. So we stayed at our separate houses.
I got to tell you that guy is looking good. He's getting too skinny, though.
He just turned 62 last week. So.
He looks like he's 40. I mean, he is a good-looking man. And your mother-in-law's lost all kind of weight also. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable. That whole family's good-looking. The daughter, your wife, you.
Absolutely.
Their grandkids are unbelievable. It's amazing. All right, what's amazing, we got North Bayhaven baseball coach. We really love this young man. He does a great job. We got a little history together back, and, well, we're both from His wife lives in Montgomery. I'm not sure Bobby's from Mariana, really.
That's right.
But he has that Montgomery connection. Let's bring him on now. Coach, how you doing this morning?
All right, how y'all doing?
I'm doing great. Jeremy asked me if I got that call yet to come out there and give that first pitch. I said, no, I haven't got that call yet. Jordan got it, but I didn't get it.
Yeah, we might have to, get you in if we host a playoff game.
There you go. No, don't worry about it. I have a hard time throwing balls anyway. All right, let's get into baseball. We hadn't talked to you in a week. Tell us where you're at, what's going on, and what's the outlook for the playoffs.
Well, we ended up going 2-2. We had 2 rough games, then we had 2 good games. So we're going to go to Rutherford Tuesday because we're at the 3 seed. We were ranked one spot behind them in the final rankings. And so we got to play there. We'll be the 3 seed. If we happen to win that and Bay wins, we would play at Bay Thursday for the championship. So it boils down to this. We're at that time of year, and we're up and down. I mean, we look good at times, and then we don't, but that's what you're dealt with when you have, a lot of young guys on your team too. So, but I'm proud of them. Our seniors have been great leaders for us this year. They've done a good job, and I'm just looking forward to it.
Hey, Bobby, Jeremy, good morning.
Hey, man.
So, got the big win over at Bay, and congrats on that. We talked with you, going in, and then you kind of stepped back out into the area to play some of the, more rural teams here. I know you're from Mariana, so you kind of got a lot of ties out in those parts there, but Chipley, Freeport, Malone, you dropped the Chipley game, Freeport game, picked up the W up in Malone there. Just kind of walk us through, those scores. I mean, they gave up 16 each, in the Chipley, Freeport, and then run Rural Malone. So you're right, kind of up and down there.
Yeah, I'm trying to set up, what we're going to do next week and who I think we need to put in there. Then I had some injuries, and I had to put some guys in different positions, but it kind of worked out good because if they can't go, at least they've played those positions, and I can move them in there, and it won't be the first time, they've done that. It's just, and a lot of it's got, like I said, it's got to depend on who's on the mound and where you got them and that sort of thing. And I had to do that because of a couple of injuries, and it kind of threw us for a loop. But I'm glad it happened now and not then. But we're where we need to be and what we can do. And, we're 500 team right now. So first time we got a chance to have a winning record, I think only 2 times in school history. So We'll see what happens.
So I've got a kind of coaching philosophical question for you here. You move into the postseason, you show up on that game day and somebody's going to the house. Does that stay in the back of your mind, like with decisions today, you might, take a pitcher out a little earlier, I might, make a pinch hitter, go up to the plate. Do you feel like you press a little bit, or you try to just block that out and just play the game that you played all year?
Just play the game you played all year. I mean, I talked to the guys about this all year, the situation. And as a coach, there's no tomorrow, so you got to go with whoever your best, weapon is on the mound. And then sometimes you might have to, pinch hit for somebody early in the game, depending on if you have somebody in scoring position and you think that's the time to do it. So you really got to, these kind of games are going to be tight, so you've got to make good decisions whenever you think is best for your team and use your weapons while you can.
Yeah. We all went through watching the Final Four here, and you can kind of see those real-time kind of gut-wrenching gambles at some point or calls at some point. So you're not immune here as you get ready to go into next week.
No, and plus, we've been in these situations a lot as a coach because, we're old. I'm old now, so I've been down those roads before, and I got to do what I think's best as a coach and go with what our talent is and what Coach Cox and myself thinks is the best for the team, and that's what we roll with, and that's what we got to do.
Hey, Coach, it's Josh Slatch. Good morning.
Hey, man, good morning.
Hey, I'd love to hear about some of these players that have made some improvements over the year. Obviously, it's a long season, but the last couple of weeks you've had to depend on a couple players to step up and make big plays in big moments. Just if you would talk about some of the players that have been playing well the past couple weeks.
Well, I'm going to talk about Tyler Simmons. He's our shortstop. he's done a great job this year, and he's filled in pitching too. You know, a lot of those seniors have had to do some things they're not used to doing, and he's really a center fielder. But I had to put him at shortstop because he's a really good athlete, and he's hit well all year. I think he's hitting over 450, and then you got Jack Teed, my first baseman. He's probably our best defensive player. He's really huge. He's probably about 6'7", and he's stepped up this year. He's hitting over 500 as a player. And then Sam Coppman's probably our best pitcher. He's pitched well all year. And, he's been our big dog on the mound, and he's also hit well this year. So those three guys are our big leaders. And Desmond Fitzgerald, our center fielder senior, he's done a great job all year defensively. And then Conley Forehand, well, it's going to be my base runner, but he got hurt, but he's my fifth senior. So I'm really proud of those seniors and the leadership they brought to our team this year, and they've stuck in there. They've been there their whole career, so that means a lot to me.
Bobby, I tell you what, you're doing a great job. I'm going to have to cut off a little bit early today. We got a giveaway we got to get in, and we got Doug next. But I tell you what, you're doing an outstanding job. We'll call you next week and talk about what's going on. Hopefully you guys can get in the playoffs and get that winning season. Again, great job, and we'll talk to you next week. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a good day.
Hey, have a good one.
All right, let's talk about that giveaway we got. What's the password and all that kind of stuff?
Here's the deal. We're going to give you a chance to win 2 tickets to the Jack Links 500 race at Talladega. And that race, of course, is on Sunday, April 27th. Now, here's the deal, boys and girls, moms and dads. I'm going to give you a word, and you're going to text that code word and your racing name to 850-215-6290. Now, once you do that, then you listen to the Inside Drive in the Afternoon Underdogs. When they call your name, you go quick like a bunny and call them at 850-215-6290, and that will give you a qualifying time. Best qualifying time wins. Now, have you got that? Good. Write it down. Here we go. The code word that I want you to text along with your racing name is RACE. R-A-C-E. The code word is race. Text that right now to 850-215-6290. Listen to the Inside Drive. Listen to the Afternoon Underdogs. And you could be going to a race at Talladega on April the 27th.
Yesterday, Jay Michael was completely packed out for lunch. We had a great time. Brian was there, Donna, Julie, Glenn Manley, and Glenn picked up the bill for everybody. That was outstanding of him to do that. What a great man he is. I really appreciate that. And as a matter of fact, I think I owed him one, but he did it, and he wouldn't take no for the answer, and hopefully he'll do that again and continue to do that every time we go. But get out to the legendary Jay Michaels, the best seafood, the coldest beer, legendary Jay Michaels. Also, I want to talk about 2 local things we got going on. I just talk about our newest sponsor, does a great job. Steve coaches the swim teams, the youth leagues around here, does an incredible job. Steve's Bike Shop. They sell new and used bikes, large selection of these electrical bikes. These electrical bikes have taken over, man. My roommate in college has one, Bay Point, they're all over there. Jeremy, you see them everywhere. He can repair those. He can repair the old-fashioned type bikes. He can do it all. They're located 1924 on 23rd Street, right across from Sam's. Huge selection. They do a great job. I hate when you buy these. You go into a store, I won't say the name of Walmart, go in there, buy a bike, you walk out and get on it, ride it, you got 2 flat tires. It happens all the time. You do that, you go to Steve's Bike Shop, it won't happen. Now, you could take the bike you bought there, go over there, get 2 brand new tires on, they'll actually work. Steve's Bike Shop, they've been taking care of Bay County since 1979. That's how good they are. That's a long time to stay in business. Great job. Also, we have Jeremy and I both love this place. Matter of fact, you got connection to these people. The Vandergrift family, legendary family. What they've done for our community over the years is incredible. Judy and Don, the impact they've had on people's lives is unreal. Well, their kids have done great things. All their kids have done wonderful things. But Kyle, unbelievable. They opened up the local 115, him and his partners. They're open Wednesday through Friday, downtown historical Panama City. Go check it out. Any coach, You can be a former coach. You can be coaching now. Tell them who you are. $15 oysters. Can't beat that. The crab cakes are unbelievable. You can grab it to go, call and order your lunch. Go by, pick it up, take it back to your job downtown, and have a great time. Go check it out. They also have the Tommy Oliver draft beer, the local 115. It's actually truly like a Bay County Hall of Fame. All the coaches, former players, cheerleaders, band members, you name it, there are pictures everywhere. Go check it out. We think you'll absolutely love it. Wildcat, yesterday I called Stevenson Air Condition. Yep. They were there at 1.
Oh, that's right. You had an appointment.
They were there at 1:30. They did an incredible job. They are the best. I can't believe I bought that new thing.
So what you're trying to say is you're cool now, huh?
No, they did a great job. This is incredible. But 2018, I thought we just got it. Man, time is flying by, Jeremy. I asked you. You've been doing this now for 6 years with us.
That's
unbelievable.
Right.
All right, we'll be right back. Doug Lee, baseball. And I think Josh got some information today on these county teams. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
A two-run home run.
The Atlanta Braves are back.
Here comes the throw. It's late. Braves win.
And ESPN Northwest Florida is your exclusive radio home for Braves country.
He just wrecked that thing. Straightaway center, a homer for Riley.
Sales, Strider, Acuna, Ozzie, Riley, Profar, and Coach Snitker lead a stellar lineup. Listen live nights and weekends on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Thursday. Sunny this afternoon and evening with a wind at 13 miles per hour coming out of the west-southwest and the high of 73. Tonight, look for a gentle breeze and clear skies with a temperature near 67. Tomorrow, a high around 76 and mostly sunshine. Saturday out with a high of 71 and sunshine. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
So you've heard the saying that if you love your job, you'll never have to work? Well, it's true.
I've worked for Brock Lawn and Pest Control for many years. The commitment to the needs of customers
and their commitment to each employee makes Brock a company I'm very proud to be a part of.
Brock's core values are also mine. Give people more than they expect and always honor your promises.
This isn't a job. It's a service to help people live a healthier lifestyle.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control. Our family protecting your family.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Give them a call. Phone lines are open. 850-215-6290. The Coach James Hale Show is taking your calls live and local. From the J. Michael Studio, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. It's going to be an absolutely beautiful day. This is baseball weather, man. I think the high 74 today. Beautiful sunny sky. Let's bring him on. One of my favorites, unbelievable coach, unbelievable person, Doug Lee. Coach, how you doing, sir?
Doing great. Good morning to y'all.
Good morning. Talk about what's going on since last time we talked to you. Big win, I know, but also some big news coming over there. Tell us what's going on.
Well, since last Thursday, we went on the road, played Enterprise, ran into a buzzsaw there. Their pitcher heading to Troy, and he was everything we had heard about. I think we got a two-hitter against us, and was very good. Tuesday we came back home and got a big win against Bozeman. Again, they were 19-3 coming in, and just typical Bozeman, very good baseball team, and had some little unexpected news come out of that game, and we can get into that a little bit, but just really proud of our guys. Ryan Harless came in relief of Carter Payne, who had to leave the game early, and Ryan, pitched just unbelievable coming in that situation. and we had some big hits from C.J. Harris, Brady Lee, and Jack Massey had a big one in the bottom of the sixth to kind of break it open for us. So proud of our team. We got a big win that Tuesday, and then had South Walton here last night. And, Denton Lord is Denton Lord. I mean, I think he's a future big leaguer probably, and he was very good. And we didn't I think we got one hit off of him. So, proud of where we're at, proud of our ball club for sure.
Well, I don't know if you want to tell us more about what happened, but I hate that a kid get hurt here at the end of the season. Do you think you'll have him at all, or does it look pretty bad?
Well, Carter just felt something pop in his elbow on Tuesday night. And, of course, went to Dr. Andrews yesterday, and, it was a worst-case scenario. He's going to have Tommy John here on the 24th. We've lost him for the year. Peyton Williams, our starting center fielder, who's been our lead, went back and forth between our leadoff spot and two-hole. He's out pretty much for the year. We've had the injury bug. We've had Jacob Oates. He's been out for, close to about 5 or 6 months. Possibly we might get him back, but we've just hit a streak right here with injuries. And, of course, that's kind of typical of this part of the year. But just hate it for Carter and Peyton just being out for the rest of the year. But it's part of it, and we're praying for them as a program and hoping they can get healed up. And I know both of them really well. They'll work hard to be back healthy as soon as they can.
Coach Jeremy, good morning. You kind of recap what's been an up and down week there. Obviously, the losses, with the win over Bozeman. I was actually out there Tuesday night. Got to watch a little bit in the back and forth. Quite a chess match between you and Coach Patton there in the early parts before I had to slip on out. But you do get a chance to kind of regroup here before the second season with the trip to Crestview, kind of help the guys process this news a little bit. You saw the Bulldogs early in the year, and they're maybe not quite to the expectations, but then you push into next week, and I'm looking, it looks like y'all have got Childs coming over. In scheduling, you played Arnold, pretty much within a couple of days. Childs, you had them early. You're going to get them, late here. Seeing the team early, seeing the team late, kind of sometimes get improvement. You get to gauge that somewhat. But Childs, looking at their schedule, and one game stood out, and that is that they've actually beaten Lincoln. And that kind of, to me, is one that you sort of take notice of. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely. Crestview is not a bad team. Tim Gillis, he played minor league baseball forever. He's my age. We played against each other in high school. I mean, I've known Tim forever. So Crestview's coming tomorrow for senior night. We're looking forward to really honoring our 5 seniors and just thanking them for their contribution to Mosley High School and specifically the Mosley baseball program. But, we get Childs in the first round, and they are much improved. They're playing really well as of late. They fully healthy, all the things. And, Coach Hewitt in his first year, he's been in the program for a while, but he's done a great job in getting them going in the right direction late in the season. So there'll be a huge task. The advantage is they'll be at home. We'll have them at home. And listen, I'm going to say this. Hey, this season's not over. This is what I've told our guys. It's just about next man up, and somebody else is going to get an opportunity. I've been telling them all year that, each night it's going to be somebody different, from time to time. And so I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to be that guy to step up for us in the next 2 games. And like I said, I know I've seen our kids all year long. They won't quit, and they're going to play hard to the very end, and that's all you can ask for.
Ask Coach Hughes this, and just curious from a coaching sort of philosophy here. When you get to that second season, and you've seen it from a coach, you've seen it from the officiating side, and you get to playoff baseball, it has a different feel when you walk up to the park here. Somebody's going to the house. But is that in the back of your mind, when you sitting there thinking about decisions, maybe taking a pinch hitter or, maybe pulling a guy, putting somebody else in? Or do you just still try to, kind of set that aside and coach as you coach every game through the season?
Well, I'm going to manage the game as I always do. We're not going to be conservative. We're going to be aggressive always. Especially offensively, I'm not afraid to take risks. I'm not afraid to, make some moves if we have to. I think our roles are kind of defined. We've got a couple guys that, situation, a pitch hit role, Mason Daniels has been our first guy off the bench as a pitch hitter, and that's a tough job. We've talked a little bit about that to our whole team. It's not an easy job and an easy role, but it's a huge role, and there's a lot of guys making a lot of money at the big league level as a pitch hitter. So we're not afraid to go to our guys that we feel like could be a good matchup or a good fit at certain times of the game. And, you try to manage your bullpen and your pitching staff. I think that's important. And a lot of times my philosophy has been to make the move before you lose the lead. And so we'll do all those things the same as we've done all year. But I'm looking forward to the postseason. It's a fun time of the year. I just try to tell them, hey, let's go play. Play loose, play free, and, whatever the result is, it is, And so I'm looking forward to the next week. It's a lot of fun to me at this time of the year.
Hey, Coach Josh Lodge, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing, boss?
Great, buddy. Hey, listen, I would love to hear about, obviously, being out the last couple of games, just some of the kids that I've seen improvement over this year. I'd love to hear about some of the kids helping you win these ball games, and some of these kids down the stretch that you're counting on to make a run in the playoffs.
Well, I tell you, it's just been fun to watch the development through the whole year, and Reed Kyle, he's been our leading hitter. He kind of was fighting for a job. He kind of landed in that DH role, and he's not let go of it. I mean, that's kind of the thing we've told our kids, force us to put you in the line. But he's been one of those guys that took advantage of that. Brady Lee's had a great year offensively. Xavier Demrow, Peyton Williams, before having the injury, he's done a great job. And, Ryan Harless and Carter Payne and Chase Wood, I mean, those guys on the mound have been really good. And, of course, our bullpen with Hunter Bollinger and Fletcher Taylor. And those guys have just done a great job. And, C.J. Harris, our starting shortstop, he's a short sophomore. I mean, I'm just looking forward to watching these guys next year, and just really proud mainly of their effort. They've come every day and worked hard, done everything we've asked. They play hard every game. That's the enjoyment I get when they just do what you ask them to do, and they play hard and get after it. Just happy for being a part of this year.
I wanted to ask you this, and I know it's not the most important thing, but, if you're the best in Bay County, you're going to be really good in the state playoffs. This year, did everybody play everybody? Do we have a true county champion this year? I haven't really kept up with it like I usually do.
I think we played everybody. I don't know I can't speak for everybody. I don't want to make a mistake there, be misquoted, but we did. We played everybody, and like I said, the Arnold series, we were supposed to play them late in the year, got moved up to early in the year, and we lost. They swept us this year. So other than that, we've had some success, and like I said, I think Bay County baseball is in a good spot for every school. I think every coach does a great job, and I'm pulling for them in the playoffs. I think Bay County is represented well in the baseball area.
No doubt. Now, I think it's the strongest thing we have. Listen, we appreciate, I know how busy you are. Really appreciate you spending time with us. We will call you next week and talk to you, and good luck to you. Tell your brother I said hello, and your mom and dad. Thank you so much, Coach.
Sure. Thanks for having me. Good luck.
Good luck, bud. Do we know who is it? Bozeman? Is it Arnold? I mean, everybody beat everybody.
Not everybody played each other, like your Rutherfords and some of those teams. But
so we don't really have the true champion this year.
We don't have the head-to-head champion. Yeah. It's kind of like the football, hypothetical, right? So. Yeah. There is a champion. We may be getting into that a little later.
Okay. Hold it right there. That sounds good. All right, let's talk about some of our great people.
Oh, hold on. Time out. Pause. The legend, the GOAT, just texted me. Jeff Patton.
He is the GOAT.
Arnold is the county champions, which I was thinking I didn't want to say and be wrong, but they did sweep Mosley.
Well, didn't
and then they split.
Bozeman beat Arnold, right?
Well,
they split.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought Jeff.
The last game I was at, I think it was 1-0. Arnold beat Bozeman at Arnold.
Yeah. All right, so we got it from the man. All right, let's talk about some of our great people we have. B4 Brady's over in Lynn Haven. Pat Perno does an incredible job, no doubt about that. He's the city commissioner of Lynn Haven. If you're out that way, head on over to B4 Brady's. Have yourself a good meal. They had a huge crowd yesterday. They treat you like family there. Great customer service, but the food's incredible. You will not get a bad meal there. The facility's outstanding. TV's everywhere. Great place to go watch March Madness like they did. Baseball now is getting ready to get cranked up big time. We'll focus in on college baseball, professional league. Wildcat, once we get through of B4 Braves and Lynn Haven, let's head on down to see our friends.
I want to know, I got all these group texts about this beautiful piece of jewelry.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't. That's my point. I didn't see it, but I heard like all these people talking about this beautiful piece of jewelry. Who got it? Who got it? And who got it for who?
Wildcat, Julie were on there, and they were talking about Russ and Amber. What a great job they do.
Yeah.
And they, who was it? It was Michigan Eddie bought some more stuff for his wife, his girlfriend, and he's buying stuff left and right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's got pretty good taste too.
Where are they at? Where's Russ and Amber at?
They're going to David Adamson Designer Jewelry, where you can create it in your mind and then show it to them on a piece of paper, and within days you'll have a beautiful ring, necklace, earrings, whatever you'd like. And for those of you who got that special somebody out there, and you're thinking about asking them to marry you, Coach will say don't. I say go for it. But if you can create a one-of-a-kind engagement ring for a one-of-a-kind person, they can create it for you and have it on her finger in 10 days, and they can do it for less than anybody. I'm talking about David Adamson Designer Jewelry, Highway 77 in Lynn Haven.
Another legendary guy that we have coming. We have only the best on this show, and I tell you what, Dr. Ward is the best at what he does. He was so proud of the Florida Gators. He called us Tuesday. He called us Wednesday. He is pumped up about the Gator National Championship. Yeah, unbelievable, man. But I will say this, women, especially women out there, two things you really got to pay attention to. Regardless of your age, they're getting younger and younger with both of them. Breast cancer, skin cancer, both can be deadly. You got to catch it early. Dr. Ward with the skin cancer, his office is throughout the Panhandle of Florida. 5 minutes can save your life. If you're not sure, go get checked out at any age. If it doesn't look right, feel right, go get checked out. Again, 5 minutes can save your life. And we talked about it yesterday. He said, stay out of the tanning beds. Stay out of it. A lot of these young women like to go in there and they get in there and they want to get that tan. That's probably the worst thing you can do. That ruins your skin. But if you have a problem, go see Dr. Ward. Do not put it off. We'll be right back, 104.3. We get back. We got some Bay County news. We got some all-star teams. We got some coaches that won some awards. We got it all. Josh's going to let us know what's going on here in Bay County, our wonderful county athletic director. We'll be right back, 104.3, ESPN Northwest Florida. We got Jeremy Pridgeon, and Tommy's out hunting or fishing or something. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the Race to Talladega. Join Coach Hale mornings at 7:15 and 8:15 to enter. Then at 12:40 and 5:40, listen for your name to be called. If we announce your name, race to the phones. How long it takes you to call 850-215-6290 is your qualifying time. The two fastest qualifying times win a pair of tickets to the Jack Links 500 from PCB Hobby, Pepsi, Panama City Toyota, and your racing station. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Discover Kia at Bill Bird Kia. The road is yours. Let spring adventures begin in a brand new Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Stop by today and check out the 2025 SUV family. Take a test drive and see the all-new features that elevate any adventure. And now offering 1.9% APR for up to 60 months on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sportage. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at Bill Bird Kia, PanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust at Bill Bird Kia.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sportage. $1,748 per month per 1,000 finance in 60 months. Quantities limited. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. Not available on balloon financing. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 4/30/25.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? We can typically replace them while you wait. Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? In many cases, we can have it back to you the next day. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport, just south of Tractor Supply. The best place in town to take a leak.
You don't know what his problem is. But it's probably hard to pronounce and untreatable.
That don't feel so good.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local from the J. Michaels Studio, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Jeremy and I have all the answers. We have come up with a formula to have a county champ. What was yours, real quick?
I'll just have them play once, and if they want to play a second game against each other, just let them schedule that on their own. But we'll see.
I've been floating the idea for years. Let's have a beginning of the season, a tournament. The crowd would be huge. It'd be real exciting. But I understand it. I do. I get it. I coached before.
Scheduling logistics are
I get
tough.
it. I do. I get it one bit. All right, let's take this phone call. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, and I appreciate you allowing me on Cente 4.3.
Anything for you, Mike.
Thank you, sir. I've got a master's memory involving two boys from Northwest Florida and a dude from Tennessee who went up there in the last century, okay, and near the end of the last century, we'll put it that way. And one of the boys was from Culhane County, or maybe both of them. That's Calhoun. When I say that, I'm talking about Calhoun, John C. Calhoun County. Anyway, I call it Culhane, like after the great family on the Hee-Haw. You remember that?
Yeah.
You remember Hee-Haw? Am I losing audience here?
That's black and white TV. Yeah.
Yeah, well.
You adjust those rabbit ears.
Yeah,
rabbit ears.
Yeah, right. So we're up there, and I got lucky. I got tickets. I worked for a guy, in the practice of law in Alabama. This guy had passes to the Masters, and he shared them with me on Friday afternoon after he'd been, because he wanted to get back home. So I go in on Friday afternoon by myself, and I go on Saturday with a boy from my neighborhood in Nashville, and then on Sunday, the kicker, some boys from Culhane County joined me up there in Augusta, and we're standing on 13th. The dog leg there at 13, the short par 5. And one of the boys goes, what would they do if I ran out there on the fairway right now when the golfers come out? They're talking about conduct and rules at Augusta right now. They kicked out the Arizona State coach yesterday for wearing shorts. That's inside the ropes now. You can wear shorts. Don't wear wife beaters and to flex your tattoo.
They don't play around. Wow.
They don't play up there. Okay, I got other stories that we're not going to do. I'm going to tell this one story involving Northwest Florida. And the boy goes, what would they do if I ran out there right now as they're approaching that ball? And I said, I know what they'd do. He goes, what? I said, they'd pick your body up because I'd kill you before you got there.
Wow.
Because I wasn't playing. Because my guy, they know what your ticket number is. And my guy who had given me the tickets, he's dead now, so I'm not going to call his name, but he had been written a letter because he had passed tickets to, back in the day, they only accepted cash, and they're very persnickety up there, to use a fancy word, which I don't know what it means, but they wouldn't take credit cards at the gift shop. So dude writes a check. This is not my guy. This is somebody he had shared his passes with.
Mm-hmm.
And it bounced. Well, he got a letter. It's like, man, and if he hadn't been who he was, because the dude had fished with Eisenhower over at the pond where they built the par 3 tournament thing, or whatever they call it, contest. You can't call the par 3 a tournament.
Yeah.
They got all kinds of rules up there. You know that. So my thing is, if I ever get a diagnosis that I'm going to die, it's my dream to go up there and to have somebody pitch me a picnic basket over with my own pimento cheese sandwich wrapped in green wax paper so you can fake them out.
Don't forget the peanut butter and banana sandwich.
They don't allow that on there, boy. Don't bring that Kentucky Memphis stuff in there to Augusta. And by the way, they think they got the best pimento cheese ever. My mama made better pimento cheese in West Nashville than they did. So do you think I'm going back? Probably not. But by golly, the PGA's in Charlotte this year. See you there. And remember, always, go Vols.
All right, Big Mike. Thank you, buddy. Speaking of that, I had a story with Coach Bryant. He, the Masters, he went there, and I guess there's a place you go in the back, they drive up in there, and they have security and everything, and they saw it was Coach Bryant. Y'all know, who's Coach Bryant's here, and then let him in. He just drove on in. That man had power like you would not believe. Josh, we recognize these fine athletes that work extremely hard, so I want you to take your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anybody you want to recognize, they deserve. We love these kids. If you stay involved, it's proven fact. If you stay involved in sports, your grades are better. You get in less trouble. You don't get in trouble. It's the greatest thing out there. Every kid should. My granddaughters, I wish they'd been playing sports year round, and people need to do that. Talk about some of these great Bay County kids and coaches.
Yeah, let me first start and talk about how we've gotten to a procedure, right? So before I got here last year, there really wasn't a system, right, to voting for all county and having kids recognized admirably, right? So it was just coaches would get together and do random things. Well, what I've done is through every sport, I put a system in place where there is, from golfs to footballs to basketballs to soccers, and weightliftings, and all of them have a system, right? So there's all the coaches. I hold a meeting, all the head coaches, and the media members for the major sports. We get the 3 media members, and we have a voting process, and we do first team, second team, all county for coaches, all player of the year, and coach of the year. And the rules are, I've tried to make it as less of a popularity contest as I can. So for the all county team, the coaches cannot vote for their own kids, but they can vote for their kids for player of the year and or themselves for coach of the year if they think they're deserving.
Right.
So with a lot of research and a lot of our ADs have kind of put our heads together and say, what's the best process to recognize kids? Not make it a popularity contest, but here's the stats and here's all the data. Let's vote, right? So the cream's kind of rose into the top with the process, year 2 of doing it, and it's the best way, I think. There's never a perfect way to do these things, but it's probably the best way to take all the bias out that we can. But I'll start selfishly with boys basketball because that's my home, right?
And real quick, talk about your former player.
Oh yeah,
just signed with Florida State.
So Alex Steen coached him at Arnold for 3 years, and he signed with Florida Southern, which is a top program in Division II. He led four statistical categories in Division II. He's all American Division II player. Went to the portal this year for his last year. He's got 1 more year of eligibility, and to say it was a stressful 2 weeks for the kid is an understatement because he kind of dabbled in the portal last year, but then was able to get some money to stay at Florida Southern, and then they ended up losing to the eventual national champion Nova Southeastern. So he goes in this year. He's we talk and he's like, mid-major this, mid-major that. You might get some Conference USA, some American, some of those kind of conference. Well, 3 hours into the process, he's getting the Louisvilles, the Kentuckys, the Virginia Techs, all the Power Fives and Blue Bloods and Alabamas, and so he kind of underestimated his potential, right? So he committed to Florida State the other day, and it was kind of late in the game. They were kind of late on he was about to sign with another school, and they came in last minute, and literally a couple hours before he was going to make a commitment to another school I won't mention, and offered him a nice little deal to come back home, essentially, right? So he's 2 hours away. He's in state, right? Which is people don't realize, like, when you go in the transfer portal, a lot of kids lose years of schoolwork because a lot of schools don't transfer the credits that they've earned, and he's 6 classes away from graduating because he's a 4.0 kid in college. Like, he's an academic All-American as well, NCAA academic All-American, great kid, studying business. So
good job.
Going in-state school to in-state school, he's not losing credit. So he'll be graduating this summer, and
that's a great story.
He'll have a year to play ball and do a good
And just
job.
think, you got him, you helped get him where he's at. That's incredible.
I just had the keys to the gym. The kid's a workhorse. He's a gym rat, and I'm just proud of him. He's come a long way. We always joked, when he was 16 years old, couldn't dribble twice with his left hand, and now he's playing against the Dukes and Carolinas and all those of the world, right? So proud of him. He's a great kid, a great family. That's Alex Steen. So
awesome.
There's your FSU segment. So,
brought to you by Newbies.
I want to just go. We'll start with boys basketball. We're kind of on that train of thought and go through some of these recognitions. We took some pictures yesterday at Tommy Oliver, and those will be released through the News Herald and our news stations here shortly. Coach of the Year, Michael Memon, first year back in the county, did an unbelievable job at Bay. It was a tight race between him and Coach Green at Mosley, both deserving. But Coach Memon, takes it in the voting process, and he's just done an unbelievable job with those kids first year back. And really, if you kind of watch the progression all year, he had a lot to figure out. He had a unique dynamic, not a lot of. He had to change the way he coached in order to get those kids to play a certain way to be successful, right? So you got to play to your talent and mold to your abilities, and he did a great job this year, and well deserving. Player of the Year, Oliver Pratt, who is a guard for Bay High School, and he's a 3-year starter for Bay. Great kid, little point guard, going to play at New Baptist College up in Northwest Florida State, or Northwest Florida. He's signed to play college there. I'll go over the first team, and we'll move on. Is Eli McFadder, senior from Mosley. Got a chance to coach Eli. We had him on earlier.
Awesome kid. Great
kid, 1,000-point scorer, had an unbelievable career. Really, really good family. And Oliver Pratt, obviously, Player of the Year. Chris Noble, another really solid kid from Arnold High School. He's actually going to play football at Faulkner here shortly, so he's a great kid, first team. Cash Zirkle from Bozeman, junior from Bozeman, 3-sport athlete, phenomenal kid. Isaiah Smith, junior from Mosley. He's probably the best player in the county moving forward. He's got a lot of upside, working really hard in the offseason. And then Joaquin Waters, who's a senior stud football player, but also a really good basketball player. That's your first team. I'll just kind of run through the second team. Maddox Memon from Bay, Jamie Hernandez from Bozeman, Micah Bowie from Rutherford, Roman Howell from Arnold, Trey Walker from Bay, and Joselle Cruz from North Bay Haven. We also have some honorable mentions as well. So moving to girls basketball, because obviously we have a lot of talent in girls basketball.
Hold your thoughts till we'll come back. And congratulations to the Bay basketball coach, first and second team. That's a great honor, man. Those kids work extremely hard. Proud of all you guys for winning that. And I'm glad you're here to give them the recognition they deserve. And when we get back, we'll finish up with the girls basketball team and then go with whatever else you got. But right now, let's talk about some of our wonderful people. Our Florida State, we talk about the young man that played at Arnold, now is going to be going to FSU. FSU updates been brought to you by Newbies. Get out Newbies, have a great time. They got 4 great locations. John Shard always give back to the community. Love them to death. Wonderful people. Newbies 2 on the curve. Go watch all sporting events. Head down to the mothership, which they have great security, by the way. Charles made sure you had the best entertainment you possibly could have every day at Newbies during spring break. And I know all the people come down here just to go to Newbies, no doubt about that. Also, Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Do you want to look better, feel better? Jason Kovaleski can make that happen for you. We'll have him here tomorrow. He's usually on Tuesdays and Fridays. Does an incredible job. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
Head first slide, 2 RBI triple. The Atlanta Braves have had a slow start, but now they're ready to launch. Deep left field, that jumped off his bat, back to the wall, out of here. Tonight, it's the Atlanta Braves versus the Philadelphia Phillies. We'll have coverage coming up at 6, first pitch at 6:15. This is Braves Country.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Thursday. Sunny this afternoon and evening with a wind at 13 miles per hour coming out of the west-southwest and the high of 73. Tonight, look for a gentle breeze and clear skies with a temperature near 67. Tomorrow, a high around 76 and mostly sunshine. Saturday out with a high of 71 and sunshine. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
CBC Construction is looking for a few good men. At CBC Construction, our greatest strength lies within our talented team. Join us and be a part of a dynamic company that values its people. We offer a tremendous opportunity to create a future for your family and the Florida Panhandle. CBC Construction is now hiring. Call us at 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com to learn more. CBC Construction. Be part of a winning team.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now to learn more.
800-605-4650. 800-605-4650. 800-605-4650. That's 800-605-4650.
From the Vortex Springs to the Bear Paw Canoe Trail. From Shell Island to 30A. We're your home for live sports. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio. ESPN Northwest Florida.
That was pretty good. Oh, yeah. Lanier is good. Real good. We'll be right back. No, we're back. We're on 4.3 ESPN Northwest.
We started talking about
yeah. I do. We were talking about sports in between breaks and, some are overkill. But I regret not playing. I dropped everything. And I wish I'd have kept running track and baseball, but I didn't. You can't go back and change it, but
no, it's never too late.
It all worked. No, it all worked out. Let's get back to these awards. I love these kids giving these recognition.
Yeah, let's continue with girls basketball. The media and coaches selected Coach Tony Davis, Rutherford High School, as Coach of the Year. Tony, that's I think we recognized him at the school board meeting the other week, and he's 4 Elite Eights, and he is always just, dominating teams around this area. And he's had to go to Montgomery, and he's had to go to these different places, Jacksonville, to find teams to help build his schedule to compete. And he lost. We traveled down to Jacksonville to watch them play in the Elite Eight, and they had a heartbreaker down there. But he's well deserving of that. Does a really good job. And then Player of the Year is this was a tight race, but Kaylee Goodpasture from North Bay Haven. Again, another multi-sport athlete, phenomenal softball player going to play softball at FSU, but really good on the hardwood as well. Edged out Ava Butler for Player of the Year. So let's go over the first team. Kaylee Goodpasture from North Bay Haven, and then Ava Butler from Rutherford, Gnala Hayes from Rutherford, Ayani Houston from Rutherford, first team, and lovely Holly from Mosley, an outstanding freshman that they had a really good year as a freshman at Mosley, and then Brianna Peace, a sophomore at Bay. So you're looking at three underclassmen making the first team in the county. So the future is definitely bright, and we have a lot more freshmen and sophomores going down the list on the second team and honorable mention. So, girls basketball, I don't think that gets enough recognition, but we have some outstanding coaches. Coach Pleated Arnold.
No doubt.
Tony Davis has proven, he does a really good job in his off-season stuff. I think we're getting some new blood in a couple schools I can't speak of, but we're getting some, Ty Steele at Bay. We have a lot of solid coaches in the area that are doing a really good job. We can move. This is always a fun one because some of these minor sports, the reason we've started some of this is because they don't really get recognition.
No,
People don't understand, like girls weightlifting, like Arnold's won, 10, they've won, 4 state championships in weightlifting, and they have 10 in a row. Yeah. District titles. Like, that's unbelievable, right? So,
and they work hard.
Unbelievably hard. Yeah. They get priority, and they get priority over that weight room at Arnold, and you got to work around them because they've have a proven track record, and they've done all the things they need to do to be a top tier team in the state. So the Flags at Arnold do a great job there. But let me go ahead and talk about some of the first county girl weightlifting team members. Alana Rhodes from Bay, Penny Lashley from Arnold, Aaliyah Willett from Rutherford. Again, Aaliyah, we recognize she was a state champion this year at Rutherford, first girls weightlifting state champion that they've ever had, first female state champion they've ever had, and this was her first year lifting as a senior.
Wow. That's crazy.
So in 5 months of being taught how to the technique of lifting, she goes from never lifting before to winning a state championship.
Wow.
Unbelievable stuff. Great story. Kaylee Mellies from Arnold, Lily Cobb from Arnold, another multi-sport athlete, Anna Carlson from North Bay, Kennedy McCollum from Arnold, Abby Michelle from Arnold, Tarina Rushing from Mosley, who was an outstanding lifter, and we'll talk about her here shortly. Another multi-sport athlete, Jillian Peden, state champion from North Bay, Haley Guthrie, Amari Harrison from Bay. Those are your first team girls weightlifting. Coach of the Year, Greg Bailey from Bay. Greg Bailey is a football coach there, in charge of the culinary program, does a really good job, really great guy. Does really good by the kids, but this is his first Coach of the Year award. Had a state champion last year, and he's doing a great job with the Bay program. We had co-lifter of the years that we had a tie from Anna Carlson and Jillian Peden from Norton, both from North Bay, and both won a state championship.
That's crazy.
So we had
That's
three.
awesome.
We had 3 state champions collectively from our county, which is
real quick, Josh.
Yeah.
For Glenn Manley, who'd you say won 10 districts in a row? What school was that?
Hope he's listening.
Yeah. What was it? Arnold?
What's that quote you always say?
I think it was Arnold, wasn't it?
The school on the beach.
Yeah, the school on the beach. Take that, Manley. What you got next?
Let's go with wrestling. How about some girls wrestling?
There you go.
Let's just call it some names here.
Did you ever think you'd hear girls? Yeah.
No.
When we were growing up, yeah.
I mean, they're as well represented. I mean, we have almost every.
I love the fact that women's basketball is getting so much recognition.
Oh, wow.
Even in
all
on
across the
television
board.
and everything.
Yeah.
So what we do right now down here is really going to make a difference in the future for these girls.
No doubt.
And I've watched a lot of these games, and they are killer. I love it. I love it.
Awesome.
So let's talk about great. That's awesome. Girls wrestling. We'll talk about first team. Hayden Hawk from North Bay, Sophia Florentino from North Bay, Joanna Smith from Mosley, Graceland Jansen from North Bay. And again, a lot of these are freshmen and sophomores being introduced to the sport. We have some middle schoolers from North Bay. We have a 6th grader who made second team, which is incredible.
Wow.
Rowdy Johnson, Julia Falgot. One from North Bay, one from Mosley, Larissa Elliott from North Bay, Emily Myers from North Bay, Kayla Armstrong, from North Bay, Chloe Rossman from Bay, Tarina Rushing, again, another multi-sport athlete from Mosley, and then our Ariana Kramer from Mosley. Tarina Rushing won Wrestler of the Year. She was also an outstanding weightlifter on the weightlifting team at Mosley. And then your co-coach of the year is Maggie Brandon and Mike Campbell. Both are co-head coaches of the wrestling program at at Mosley High School.
That's awesome, man. Awesome.
And then your all-county, last thing we'll talk about is your all-county for boys. If I can pull it up, just give me 2 seconds. We might have to come back to that because it's not pulling up. It says operating error, so I'm gonna have to get to that later.
We'll get that. I was just looking. You know what? I'll do this later. All right, let's talk about some of our great pit time. We got anything else you want to do real quick, Wildcat?
No, I'm good. Go ahead and do your thing.
Let me do my thing, baby.
I'm so anxious to get to the Alabama update.
All right, Jeremy's got a good one today. I'll tell you that right now. All right, let's talk about, we got some wonderful doctors around here, but I tell you what, this legend is incredible. And I appreciate Josh and Britt Smith and Rick Green, all those guys at Arnold, and our superintendent, McQueen, all those guys recognized Chad Mitchell. I believe it was at the Bay game, and he deserved it. He's already completed 25 years on the sidelines. You don't see anybody doing that anywhere for anything. Giving up his time for this will be his 26 years on Bay County sidelines taking care of athletes. People come from all over. A young lady from Montgomery, Alabama came down here and had Chad do an operation on her. Grew up with the young lady. I tell you what, he is incredible. The robotic surgery, nobody does it better than Chad Mitchell. If you have any type of injury, shoulders, knees, ankles, hips, you name it, call Chad Mitchell, make an appointment. He'll take care of you. The guy is incredible. And also, I want to thank the Vandergrift family, TK Vandy Roofing and General Contracting. They design, they build commercial, residential. They can do it all. They can build a city. They can do anything they want to do. But I tell you what, if you're looking for a new roof, is TK Vandy Roofing. That's who you want to go with. Kyle does an incredible job. Everything he touches turns to gold. Also, Turpo Pest Control. Patrick does a wonderful job. Listen to Patrick every Monday, 8:30, right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Your yard will look beautiful. If you got bugs and stuff getting in your house, call Patrick. They deal with that also. Turpo Pest Control, #1. We'll be right back, what you've been waiting for. Jeremy Pritchett preaching on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Nothing gets better than that. Be right back.
Keep the game going with ESPN Northwest Florida. Just because you get out of the car doesn't mean the Sports Talk and Live play-by-play have to end. Just say, hey, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida. From Michigan Avenue to the man cave, from the car to the kitchen, we've got you covered. Keep the game going. Hey, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Thursday. Sunny this afternoon and evening with a wind at 13 miles per hour coming out of the west-southwest and the high of 73. Tonight, look for a gentle breeze and clear skies with a temperature near 67. Tomorrow, a high around 76 and mostly sunshine. Saturday out with a high of 71 and sunshine. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Beach Pizza, formerly Marcy's Pizza, is back with more hours and more pizza. Beach Pizza has new owners and now open every day, 11 to 11. Pizza by the slice, whole pies, wings, pretzels, garlic knots, and more choice eats in East PCB. I finally tried a slice, and it was a thin crust, totes, cheesy slice of paradise. 8815 B Thomas Drive, online at beachpizzapcb.com. Call ahead, 850-775-4053.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Experience a higher level of service. David Adamson Designer Jewelry has been providing you the very best of fine jewelry and repair in Lynn Haven for over 32 years. David has added Amber Anderson and Russ Klinger, names you've known and trusted in PCB for years with your fine jewelry and watch needs. Find that one-of-a-kind engagement ring, that special anniversary gift, or something colorful just for you. Amber and Russ will find it or build it for you. Serving Bay County and beyond in Lynn Haven at the corner of Ohio Avenue and 9th. David Adamson Designer Jewelry.
If you got more A's on your truck than you did in high school, you might be a Bama fan. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Alabama Update is brought to you by the one and only Steverson Air Conditioning. I tell you, I love Jason, a great man, graduated from Mosey High School, locals taking care of locals throughout Bay County, throughout the Panhandle of Florida. Their business expanded. They've done incredible work. They came over yesterday, did a great job. We already went ahead and probably a little bit too early, but we did it anyway. Got our air conditioned heating serviced. And one thing we had forgotten to do, that they told us that we got to do this. And Jeremy, I forgot. Change the filters. It's been a while. We forgot. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that thing. So, anyway, make sure you're changing your filters out there. But Steve's Air Conditioner, #1, not even close. Give them a call. If it breaks down anytime during the day or night, Stevenson Air Conditioning will be there for you. Jeremy, what do you got from the Alabama Crimson Tide?
Well, I've had to do a little investigative reporting on this first story. So I don't know if there's a causation or relation, but public records showed Wildcat made a huge donation to the University of Kentucky at the same time Muhammad Diabate hit the transfer portal from Alabama to Kentucky.
I think he is involved. Unbelievable. How could that happen? How can that happen?
I'll tell you what, 6 years getting into the finals there was too long of a wait. I'm not taking any more chances, so I sold all my wife's jewelry.
David Adamson.
So we're all in on Muhammad Diabate hitting
Thanks a lot.
Kentucky. That's kind of one story breaking out of the sort of wrap-up of the basketball season, and all eyes now turn to the spring sports. Tough weekend on the Plains. Fortunately, Auburn didn't see it because of the Final Four. But Friday night, man, Auburn took the sticks out and just drummed us. And then was supposed to be a 3-game set Saturday, Sunday, but with the weather that was moving in on Sunday, they played a doubleheader on Saturday and split on Saturday. So Crimson Tide fell 2 spots in the coaches poll to number 10. Now 22-10, 6-6 in the SEC, and Auburn got the series sweep. Auburn, as a result of that, and Andy will say more about this, I'm sure, but they moved up 5 spots to number 12. But, you know, the margin of error in the SEC right now in baseball, slim, just like it was in the basketball season. So I'm just glad to count Alabama amongst those who are in that upper tier finally. I mean, we're maybe on the bottom part of that upper tier, but we're not in that mid-major also ran. Probably on the outside looking in as far as hosting a regional, unless they make a little run here. It looks like probably a high 2 seed against maybe one of the lower 1 seeds having to travel, but there's still time left and still some opportunities. The midweek games are kind of winding down now. You know, typically you get through this midweek and then you pick back up again. They did play, Auburn this past weekend, and this coming weekend they got Mississippi State. So they did pick up a win over your Southern Miss Eagles.
That hurt. That one hurt.
Yeah, so the Golden Eagles made the trip up from Hattiesburg. That's a good.
Jeremy, they're good.
That's a good non-conference. That's what I was going to say. It's a good non-conference win when you're sitting here trying to separate out, perhaps getting one of those 16 host sites. They did not need to drop that one because Southern Miss sometimes, you know, teeters right there on hosting themselves as one of the non-Power 5. And this one this weekend will really be a sort of tail of the tape, heading over to Mississippi State, or actually Mississippi State's coming into Tuscaloosa to play 3-game set Friday night at 6, and that'll kick off a big week for Alabama baseball. Alabama softball, the ladies were down on the Bayou this past weekend, and it's kind of interesting. You see the weather front here. I watched the game on Sunday afternoon. Man, they were bundled up like it was wintertime. They were able to get one down on the Bayou there and beat LSU on the last game on Sunday. They did drop the first 2. They were run ruled, which how many times have you seen a Pat Murphy team run ruled?
Yeah, no.
This is not the same caliber ball team. And speaking
they
of,
lost their superstar off last year's team.
And so I think, their streak of hosting regionals, I think it's something like 16, 17 straight years. That's going to end. You know, I think Alabama's on the outside looking in women's softball. And what I meant to say with the baseball, you want to be in that top 8. And that's what you're trying to get into, because you can be in the top 16 and host, which I believe they will. Mm-hmm. But if you're in that 9 to 16, you get to a super, you got to travel. That's what you want to see. You know, if you're Alabama trying to crack the door here, and they're playing right on that line of getting into that top 8 seeding. And there's a lot of talk about who's 8 and who's 9, because the 9 team has to hit the road. That makes it tough. So the ladies are back in action. It does not get any easier. They play Oklahoma, the number 2 team in the nation, the 3-game set. This is that rare Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Every team in the conference has to pick up one of those for television purposes, basically. And so the series doesn't start until Saturday, and they'll come over from Norman to play Patty Lasso and that crew's tough, so I don't think it gets any easier. Talking Alabama football a little bit, I did see that there is a legit race for quarterback, according to one report out of ESPN, that Ty Simpson really has to go win this thing, and that he is not the just heir apparent as we look at spring practice. And of course, they're all competing to fill the spot vacated by Jalen Milroe. Austin Mack battling Keelan Russell is considered the most talented of the 3, according to Chris Lowe, but is a freshman. Yeah, you know, that's a lot of lot of pressure to put on
And you
someone.
and I both know they're not even going to think about naming anybody till August, the middle of August.
That's right.
No matter how good they are.
Too much in terms of the portal or all of those things that go along. So I expect that to be just a continued conversation after each practice, each workout, that who seems to have the edge. But that's not a bad thing. I'm sure you had years coaching where you had some clear-cut number ones, and then you had some other years that...
What they're doing is going to be across the country. Nobody's going to want to name. That's the reason they don't want to play spring games, if somebody gets their feelings hurt.
Right, come out of that. So, and as if he could not do any more to just increase his legend, Nick Saban. An Emmy nomination.
For his language.
You've kind of called this transition some time ago, and you could almost see it, you could feel it. I think NIL just accelerated it, and now he has made the transition to the game day program and has earned now an Emmy nomination. Clearly, it was a success, and I mean, you watch game day like I watch game day if we're not up there, and he really did add a considerable dynamic to the program. I mean, people like to talk about McAfee and his antics, but from someone who's been on the field with X's and O's that could bring depth to it, and at the same time discuss what's happening in the game, particularly since it impacted him so much to push him on into retirement. Do you think he's still coaching if NIL and the portal?
Oh, he'd be going at it right now, breaking every kind of record there's out there.
Yeah, because I can remember when years ago we first started talking about this, there was one scenario that you could see where Saban wouldn't coach anymore. That'd be because he died.
Yeah, right.
And the game changed and the ground shifted so much that
it's not even the same game anymore.
No,
the rules have changed. If you got the money, if you're Ohio State, Texas, Oregon, you're going to be in pretty good shape.
Yeah. So the other nominees, this is his competition. You tell me who's going to win the Emmy. Ryan Fitzpatrick on Prime Video and Richard Sherman, they're nominated. ESPN's Jason Kelsey and CBS's Jay Wright.
I don't even know those people.
Exactly.
Now, Jay Wright, I know who he is.
he was covering the Final Four this past week there. Yeah. So
it's Saban.
Yeah, and I think that it's funny to me for someone, if you remember those epic press conferences where he just would pound the media.
Yeah.
And now he's become the media.
The people he could,
Right.
I will never, and you hit on this, I want to tell the story again. I'll never forget, Kirby was the defensive coordinator at Alabama, and we had Jamie's birthday party over on 30A or somewhere over there, and he came, him and his wife were in town. His mother and his dad has passed away this past Notre Dame game. But anyway, he came over, and they had dinner with us. His wife came over, and we had a great time. We got talking, and I don't know if Mark was there or not, but the way Kirby treated those kids were unbelievable, because all those, they had a lot of Alabama fans. They knew who Kirby was, the defensive coordinator at Alabama. So I said, man, you need to stay there. Just stay there. You'll be, I'll never forget this. I said, you will be the next coach at Alabama. Just stay there. He would be. He would have been.
Yeah.
And it's when the first time I heard it, he goes, Nick's not going anywhere unless we start losing, and that ain't going to happen. I said, the only other thing he's interested in, the only other thing he would do would work it like a game day and something like that.
And there you
I
go.
told you that a long time ago. And Kirby was right. That's exactly what he saw it. When he met with all those players, they wanted how much more money they want. What are you going to give me?
Yeah.
That was it. And Miss Terry told him the same thing. Said, what are we doing? All these parents are talking to me about money too, Nick.
Yeah. Why are we doing this?
Why are we doing this?
Yeah, they got plenty of money. They can go do something else and have a lot better.
I don't blame him a bit. And I think he's frustrated right now with everything that's going on in college football.
Yeah. And I don't know if you talked about it there, but the one proposal coming out in the Congress there regarding NIL and caps and all of those things I sent you, I think it's dead on arrival. But
right.
Do you really want Congress to solve this?
No, I'd keep them out of it. NCAA just get off their butt, do something, but then they'll take it to court and break it. So I don't know what's going to happen. I've never seen about this. But good Alabama update, man. That was good. I enjoyed that. A-Day game, you're not going?
No.
A-Day practice.
A-Day practice. No.
Auburn A-Day practice.
No.
Unbelievable. Times have changed. I get it, though. I get for the coaches. I get it, man. The Alabama's got a brand new quarterback. They don't want to name who's the quarterback's going to be. Ty Simpson's going to be the starting quarterback day one. Mark it down. Now, during the season, that freshman might take over. But then again, I'll be honest with you, that kid from Washington's got talent. He can play.
Yeah, I'm going to channel my inner Allen Iverson. You want to talk about practice?
Yeah.
Not talking about a game.
And Auburn's going to do the same thing. That kid from Mississippi can play. The lefty, he is a great player, the one they stole from Notre Dame. And then they've got the guy from Arnold, the Arnold kid from Oklahoma. I think he'll be the starter week 1, and we'll see how that plays out. We get back, we got hopefully we got Andy Burcham talking about the Auburn Tigers. Hugh Freeze has had some issues, health issues. We'll talk a little about that. But for right now, let's talk about Stevenson Air Conditioning. They're there for you anytime, day or night. If it breaks down, quits running, call Stevenson Air Conditioning. They'll be there as soon as they can. They'll fix all issues. They are number one. Don't go with a national company. Go with locals. That's Stevenson Air Conditioning. You got something you want to do?
I do. It's
well,
that
go
time.
ahead.
It's
do
that
it.
time again.
Just do it.
Get ready to just jot this number down. Just take a Sharpie and put it on the wife's forehead. 850-215-6290. Why do you want that number? I'll tell you why. Because I need you to text the code word and your racing name to that phone number, 850-215-6290. Text the word race right now, and then listen to the Afternoon Underdogs and listen to the Inside Drive. And when those guys call your name, you call that very same number, and the quicker you call, I should say, will get you a qualifying time, and the quickest qualifying time will get you a chance to win
race on down
to Jack's.
Race on down to J. Michael's Restaurant on Thomas Drive. Get the best seafood, the coldest beer, the legendary J. Michael's Restaurant. Also, if you have a problem, it doesn't look right, doesn't feel right, call Dr. Ward. 5 minutes can save your life. He's got offices throughout the Panhandle of Florida, and we're talking about racing. If you're going to race anywhere, you have to race over and go see Amber and Russ. And where are they located, Wildcat?
They are located Highway 77, 830, Highway 77 in Lynn Haven.
In Michigan, Eddie did a good job. He bought his wife some beautiful stuff over there. We'll be right back with the legendary Andy Burcham.
The Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
Up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth storm coverage.
Winter Storm Enzo.
And breaking weather as it happens.
Hurricane Helene.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
We do have a tropical storm warning.
Rely on it.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Thursday. Sunny this afternoon and evening with a wind at 13 miles per hour coming out of the west-southwest and the high of 73. Tonight, look for a gentle breeze and clear skies with a temperature near 67. Tomorrow, a high around 76 and mostly sunshine. Saturday out with a high of 71 and sunshine. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Discover Kia at Bill Bird Kia. The road is yours. Let spring adventures begin in a brand new Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Stop by today and check out the 2025 SUV family. Take a test drive and see the all-new features that elevate any adventure. And now offering 1.9% APR for up to 60 months on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sportage. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust at Bill Bird Kia.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sportage. $17.48 per month per 1,000 finance in 60 months. Quantities limited. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. Not available on balloon financing. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 4/30/25.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local from the J. Michaels studio.
They got something that money couldn't buy. I was noticing when you come down the stairs that you've got pretty legs.
All right, I'll tell you a story without a happy ending.
Y'all following this?
ESPN Northwest Florida. And now, War Eagle. Live from the J. Michaels studio, it's the Auburn Update on the Coach James Hale Show with the voice of the Auburn Tigers, Andy Burcham. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Eagle, hey! Let's bring him on. We don't have a whole lot of time with him today. Andy Burcham. Andy, great to have you. It's kind of sad. This last time we're going to have you until we get closer to football season this summer. I just want to tell you what a wonderful job you do. We enjoy it when you come on. People in the Panhandle of Florida love listening to you. Nobody's better at what you do. You're the hardest working man in show business. I'm telling you what, football, basketball, and now you jump into baseball. Unbelievable, man. And I tell you what, I enjoyed the article, The Saturdays Down South. Matter of fact, let's start out with that, The Saturdays Down South. Will you cover that with everybody, what that was all about?
James, I've got to be honest with you. I'm not sure what we're talking about.
They had you, your picture is on the Saturdays Down
being
South.
Humble, that's what it is.
It's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Saturdays Down South. Your picture's there. I saw it. I read it. And you were talking about, in your opinion, this might be one of the best Auburn basketball teams in history at the school.
Yeah. Well, listen, I mean, just look at it from a numbers perspective. There's an SEC championship. You're number one in the country for 8 straight weeks, which is the longest continuous time other than Kentucky in SEC history. You win 32 games, which is the most in Auburn history, and you go to your second ever Final Four.
Yeah.
So, this is the best season that Auburn has ever enjoyed, and they're not stopping here. They will not rest on their laurels. With this fabulous season, they will. And the thing about this is how disappointed this team was, how this program was after the game on Saturday night against Florida, because they didn't go there just to get to the Final Four. That wasn't enough. Auburn was going to San Antonio to win a national championship. I know it didn't happen, but this program, that's what it is, continues to build this program for.
Yeah, Andy, I watched the game, and Florida's a great team. There's no doubt about it. Matter of fact, I picked them to win the national championship when they went into Auburn and beat them at Auburn. I said, wow, that shocked me. But let me ask you this. In my opinion, I'm watching that game, Auburn doesn't commit all those turnovers. That, to me, they helped Florida out quite a bit. I know that's part of the game. There's no doubt about it. That's part of the game. But what did you think watching the game? When did what was the key?
I thought this, and there's no question that turnovers played a big factor, especially in the second half. Auburn only had 2 in the first half, but started to turn the ball over in the second half. There were 2 things. The turnovers, the fact that Florida took advantage of those turnovers, and Walter Clayton Jr. was just magnificent for the Gators. I thought this, when Auburn led by 9 early in the second half and had 2 or 3 chances to take that lead to double figures and did not do that, and that's when Florida went on an 11-0 run. And that the game changed early in the second half at that point, and then it went back and forth throughout the rest of the contest, and the Gators eventually won that game by 6. But to me, if there was a turning point in the game, it was early in the second half when Auburn had a couple chances to take the lead to double figures and could not do so, and then the Gators go on that 11-0 run and really go on to win that ball game and then go on to win a national championship. And I didn't think Florida played as well on Monday against Houston to win the national championship as it did against Auburn in the first game of the Final Four.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. No doubt about that. I wanted to ask you this too. Now I could be wrong. I know there were a lot of Gators there. I know that, but man, it looked like Auburn traveled well. It looked like a lot of support for Auburn out there. Did you get to go around much? Did you see Auburn people everywhere? Am I right on that?
Yeah, we flew with the team, and we're down there from Wednesday through Sunday when Auburn came back. And a couple different events. We did Tiger Talk at the Buckhorn Saloon and Museum in downtown San Antonio. Had a great Auburn crowd for that. The next night, there was an event hosted by Tigers Unlimited at the Briscoe Western Art Museum. By the way, if you ever get a chance to go, you should, because it's a fabulous facility, fabulous venue. And that place was packed with Auburn people. And just, there was tons of Auburn people on the Riverwalk, in the various restaurants. Auburn was very, very well represented for the game and for the game itself. I mean, that was a big Auburn crowd in a really big venue, the Alamo Dome. So Auburn was well represented. So was Florida. So was Duke. I didn't see as many Houston folks around, but my guess is they probably came in on game day.
Yeah.
And they just made the trip down from Houston for that. But there were tons of Auburn people in San Antonio for the Final Four.
And this is your last day with us for a while, so I want to ask these couple questions, and hopefully you're okay with it. Football season. What was your highest point this past year in football? You personally, what did you enjoy the most this past year in football? Then I'm going to ask you the same thing for basketball.
There were two games for football. The win at Kentucky was just an enormous win for Auburn to get that win on the road. And then the win against Texas A&M at home, to win that game in overtime, to finally win one of those close games that, Auburn had been in so many games that it was unable to win that game in overtime, I think was the pinnacle of that season for Auburn football. For Auburn basketball, the win against Houston, the second game of the year down there, I think set the tone for Auburn, and I think it set the tone for the rest of the country that this Auburn team is going to be special. And then, to me, the win at Alabama, number 1 versus number 2 on national television, game day in town, to win that ball game the way Auburn did, to me, though, that's the two games. And if I would add a third, it would be winning the Maui Invitational.
Yeah.
And that first game, the tap in by Janai Broome in the last 3 seconds to beat Iowa State. So there's 3 for basketball for you.
There's one game that I thought you were the most upset. I watched, and you can tell me if I'm wrong or not, but I remember, it sticks out in my mind right now. I'm listening to the game, the Ole Miss game, and the officiating. You were talking, and you were like, all the calls are going. Am I right on that one, or can you remember? I mean, you were hot, I think, at the Ole Miss game.
We played Ole Miss 3 times. Which of those 3 times?
I think it was at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Yeah, at Ole Miss.
The thing that sticks out to me about that game at Ole Miss was the 3-point shooting that Auburn had that day. I mean, that was a packed house. They had camped. The students had camped out overnight in Oxford. For that, they were there early. They gave them instructions how to storm the court properly after the game. They did that before the game. And then what that Auburn team did, and won that game by double digits. And every time that Ole Miss made a run against Auburn, and especially in the second half, Auburn had an answer for that. And my guess is the officials probably got under my skin a little bit.
They did.
That happens from time to time. But what I took away from that game was how big of an SEC road game that was for Auburn that day against a team to that point I believe had lost a game at home, and I think was undefeated in the SEC at that point when Auburn went there.
Hey, Andy, Jeremy,
Jeremy, good morning.
Been a pleasure to just have these moments here with you. I know it is a grind, 24/7, and then there are sort of times that are even more demanding than that, which is hard to fathom. But what's your off season look like? What's that look like from you, kind of patterning your work, your kind of getting ready for that next lap around the track, so to speak, as you get ready to hit at least the break between all the seasons?
July is the one month of the year that I can guarantee my wife that I will not be calling a game or I will not have a broadcast. and that's why we got married in July 21 years ago. That's what I told her. Because baseball can go to late June with the World Series. Obviously, football can start as early as August, and there is everything in between. So July is the 1 month of the year for me. It's the 1 month that we tend to travel. It's the 1 month where I typically recharge a little bit, but I'm always gearing up for the next season. We'll have the 8-day broadcast at noon on Saturday. It's not a game; it's a practice. So we'll just have a game day broadcast. We'll have some interviews on Saturday for 8 days, starting at 12. It'll be a 1-hour broadcast, and then right back into baseball. Big, huge baseball series this weekend for LSU. But July is the 1 month that I do not have an Auburn broadcast of some nature. So that's it. That's what that
Yeah.
That's that downtime for me, yes.
Little respite.
Right.
I wanted to say this. Jamie said she saw you in Atlanta. She called me. She was excited. I said, Daddy, I saw Andy, and I hugged him, and she was all pumped up to see you, and she loves you, and we do too. I tell you what, people love listening to you here. You do an incredible job. Auburn's fortunate to have you there. You're one of the few that do it. I don't think there's maybe a handful of people that do what you do. Football, basketball, baseball, you're incredible, and I want to thank you again for coming on, and we'll get you right before probably in August about college football.
Sounds good. Sounds good, guys. I certainly appreciate it. I've always looked forward to our Thursday visits, and I look forward to talking with you again in August, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you, Andy. War Eagle, he is the best, man. That guy is incredible.
Great guy.
Seriously, I'm trying to think. How many other people does Chris Stewart do? I don't think he does it.
No, Stewart rolls out after basketball.
Yeah, I mean, that's a, golly, and Auburn's got LSU this weekend, but we really appreciate that. Hey, get on to Beef Braised. You love great food, great atmosphere. Beef Braised, Lynn Haven. Love Pat. City Commissioner Lynn Haven does an incredible job there. Go check it out. We think you'll definitely love it. Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Do you want to look better, feel better? Jason Kovaleski can make that happen for you. Also, if you get any type of injury, go see the legend, Dr. Chad Mitchell. The guy is incredible. No doubt about that. Stevenson Air Condition. And I'll tell you what, I want to talk more about Steve. Does a great job. Steve's Bike Shop, right across the street from Sam's. If you love those electrical bikes like everybody does, go get one from him. If yours breaks down, he can repair it. He can do it all. They got used bikes. They got new bikes. They got it all right down there at Steve's Bike Shop on 23rd Street. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Top 10 worst drivers in the United States of America. James Hale in Florida is the worst drivers in the country.
Look what it did for Wildcat.
Yeah. You should, Bill, you should see Wildcat. You know how he looks now? You should have seen him a year ago. It was scary.
Weekday mornings 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
CBC Construction is looking for a few good men. At CBC Construction, our greatest strength lies within our talented team. Join us and be a part of a dynamic company that values its people. We offer a tremendous opportunity to create a future for your family and the Florida Panhandle. CBC Construction is now hiring. Call us at 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com to learn more. CBC Construction. Be part of a winning team.
At Brock Lawn and Pest Control, we're proud to be awarded the distinction of being Quality Pro certified.
Our technicians have passed rigorous training in eco-friendly application and prevention of pest treatments.
Part of the program is the practice of integrated pest management.
IPM's goal is to prevent pests from ever entering your home. It includes inspection, prevention, education, and, when necessary, application.
We're proud to be Quality Pro certified.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, the standard and level of trust.
That boot store invites you to think outside the box this Easter by going Western for your Easter outfit. From the smallest to the largest and famous name brands, sizes, styles, and colors. From pants to shirts to belts and boots for guys and gals, the perfect Easter outfit is waiting for you. So this Easter, dress up the whole family by shopping That Boot Store. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 till 5. Friday and Saturday, 9 till 5:30. Next to Bill Burr Kia 15th Street, Panama City. That Boot Store, where God is good all the time.
He doesn't always go the extra mile. But when he does, it's because he missed the exit. It's the Coach James Hale Show. Live and local inside the J. Michaels Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest. So we just got to talking with Andy Burcham. The national championship game really was Auburn and Florida, especially with Duke going down. I was worried about Duke. But you got, Houston plays. So I'm going to ask you both what y'all thought about the Final Four. Let me go this real quick. Everything that Florida went through, the coach with the situation he had to deal with at the beginning of the season, that was ugly. That was messy. We talked about it here. Said, man, this is not good. And then They get beat down, get embarrassed by Tennessee. They turned all those things, all those negative things, they turned the negative to a positive, setback to comeback. But listen to this. This is incredible. They trailed by 3 to UConn with 4:03 to go in the game. They win that. Okay, you can do that. They trailed by 9 to Texas Tech with 3:14 to go. They won that game. They trailed by 8 at Auburn at halftime, and they come back in the second half. They get it done. They trailed by Houston by 12. I thought, here we go. Is Alabama playing Duke? But no, not the Florida Gators. They fought back, and they win the game. Incredible. They never give up. They never give in. They play hard. You're a basketball coach. You grew up with your dad. You've been around basketball since you could walk. What did you think about the final? I thought it was one of the best Final Fours I can remember in a long time.
No, I know we hadn't had the 4 number 1 seeds in a while. Best 4 teams, any given night, any of those 4 could have won it. It was just Florida's. It was Florida's weekend. The Auburn game, you depend on Clayton Jr. he was just phenomenal. It wasn't Auburn losing. It was just Clayton just carrying the team, putting them on his back and performing just incredibly. And then the championship game, it was a collective effort. They shut him down. Houston took him out of the ball game, and a couple of players stepped up and made plays in big moments. And then down the stretch, he gets loose and gets a couple of really big buckets. It was just fun. The back and forth, the strategic stuff of Houston taking away a lot of stuff that Florida's really good at. But everybody stepped up and played well.
I was going to ask you, just the whole game, who got the edge in coaching?
I don't think it was an edge. I think it was one of those games, Jeremy, it just came down to who had the ball last and who was going to make the last, because the 30-second shot clock, the last 3 possessions are crucial. And Florida, their defensive effort, the guy rises up to shoot. He's got 5 seconds left on the game clock. He could have just pump faked and win. And I think even Kelvin after the game was like that, because the play he drew up was incredible. He had a couple actions where he had really good looks. Florida guarded it well, and then isolated right there on the left side for a kid with his left hand to go finish. And
he goes up. What did he see? The guy that's going to block the shot?
Well, Clayton Jr. Had a fly-by contest.
Yeah, so he comes back, but he knew if he touched his turnover, if he touches the ball, he wanted this kid to come get it, and the kid hesitated, and Florida hustled, and
that's it.
That was it. What a game.
Yeah, you're sitting there thinking, gosh, we're either going to overtime, we're going to have a buzzer beater, this thing's going to rim out. We didn't even get a shot.
2 crucial possessions down the stretch. Houston did not get a shot.
And kudos to the Gators. The Gator Nation page has this up, and this kind of chronicles this run, which is just remarkable. Going back to the SEC tournament, defeat number 19 Missouri, defeat number 6 Alabama, defeat number 5 Tennessee. Then they pick up Norfolk State, rated number 180 first round, but then number 32 ranked in Ken Palm ratings, Connecticut, number 10 ranked Maryland, number 9 ranked Texas Tech, number 4 ranked Auburn, number 2 ranked Houston.
It's crazy.
That's a run. Yeah. Just
when they
all
lost to Georgia, I thought, that kind of worried me. And then they got it rolling. They won 12 straight after. I think it's after that they won 12 straight.
I watched the Florida-Alabama game when they went into Tuscaloosa, and that was a heck of a ball game.
Yeah.
But that night, I thought this team's hitting.
It's special.
Yeah, there's something different.
I said it when they went into Auburn, when I didn't think anybody was going to beat Auburn. There for a while, Auburn looked unbeatable. But when they went in there, did you watch that game? When they went in and beat Auburn there like they did, I said, this team is the real deal.
Yeah.
They shot the 3 better than a lot of elite teams this year. So you put those 4 teams, the number 1 seeds, in a pool and say, okay, you look at the statistical categories of their 3-point percentages and attempts per game and all the things that rely on that. That's a game changer. They led all 4 of those teams. Auburn was good in a stretch, but Duke was probably your next best, and that carried them through the championship game when they needed a couple of those big shots.
Yeah, you got to play the games. You never know what's going to happen. It was incredible. And what y'all? I wanted to ask you, especially you, Coach, and Jeremy, you officiated. It just seemed like the first half they didn't call anything. In the second half, Did they get together and go, wait, we need to...
They started biting
everything.
On everything. Yeah, first half.
Have you ever seen that before? It's so one extreme to the other.
I will say this. Our officials at all levels are out there doing the best they can. And I will say of all the sports, basketball is the most difficult to officiate and stay consistent. And even within that, you watch altering a guy's three-point shot doesn't look like a big foul. But just a hit on the hand is enough to warrant that foul, and that same type of contact down low gets nothing. So you have different elements of the game that come into play as to how it's officiated. Hand checking, some of that gets real dicey because you can get a little too, in somebody's space, and then other times it looks like it's near assault and nothing happens. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
And from crew to crew, game to game, they're feeling the rhythm of the game, whatever the sport they're trying to pick up. And, they didn't go in and impose their will. They really kind of let them play. But coming out, there were some very quick fouls, 3 fouls in 9 seconds.
Yeah. See, I'm like you. I think the first half, let them play. The second half, let's get. What's your take on it?
As an official, is like the first 4 minutes and the last 4 minutes dictate the game. Mm-hmm. So if you're loose on the whistle the first 4 minutes, that for the next 16 minutes, you're looking at what happened. They were loose. So at halftime, that you're getting all the feedback. Remember, we're humans. We're loose on here. This is the play here. I had this here because there are 3 guys who've probably never called before, rarely called.
That's right.
So that's the dynamic you got to think of.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they come in thinking, we got to tighten up here, it's too late because now you've ruined the flow of the game. So as an official, the way you call it in the first 4 minutes is really what you got to live by.
That's right.
But in that stage, I understand why they tightened it up because it was getting a little ugly.
Yeah. Where do you press? Where do you let them go? And it was getting chippy.
I don't think the SEC basketball is going to back down at all. We are the power in basketball. We're not in football anymore. I got to give them credit where credit's due. The Big Ten won 2 back-to-back national championships. They're the power in football until something's done differently. But basketball, we're tough.
One more thing on the officiating. When have you seen the winning team of the national championship have 2 technical fouls in the game?
And win.
Yeah. I mean, that's the piece going back where they felt like, all the bench conduct that they had to ding, they felt like they were, we're on the floor now.
I missed the one. I saw the kid throw the ball down and bounce. I mean, that made me, I got upset about that. When he did that, I got mad at him. But what was the other one?
The assistant coaches come, and they were playing on the elevated court.
Raised floor.
Yeah. And so
very noticeable.
It's very noticeable. Here comes a call, and here come 3 assistants jumping up off the bench area onto the elevated floor, and they'll talk to head coaches. They'll deal with assistants.
It was on the other side of the court. Okay.
Yeah, so and you can see it on the elevated floor more. Like basketball, you have offensive coordinators, defense coordinators, special team coordinators. When special teams basketball is like your out of bounds plays, based on out of bounds. So you have like your assistants with different roles. It's not as talked about as football where it's defense coordinator, offensive coordinator, but you have your different assignments, different things. So you see a coach with a whiteboard like Houston, right? Because it's loud and all. He's the defense coordinator. He has what he is, whatever coded for what defense they're running. So in order for the players to see, he's got to step up on the floor and coach, right?
Right.
But traditionally it's only the head coach supposed to stand up, only one guy standing. But it's just exaggerated when you have to literally step up 4 feet onto a floor. So I think that got them because now it's like we got to call it.
We got you.
There's 4 people out on on the court.
But that's a good point. I was really mad when he slammed, and his coach took him out of the game, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't lose your cool like that.
Well, and you can't let that go either. And that's
There's a couple things I didn't get in with Andy, and I meant to ask him about this. A few years going through cancer treatment, and he talked about that, dealing with that with college football practice, spring football going on, and going forward with that. And I'll get into that probably more tomorrow, maybe. Tracy Rocker, I saw him play. Do you remember him? You guys remember him? This guy was one of the best I've ever seen. He was born April 9th, 1966. So his birthday was yesterday. What a football player. He's one of the best football players I think Auburn's ever had. Of course, Pat Dye did a great job recruiting great players back in the day. He was a stud, man. I watched him play. He was something special, no doubt about that. Maybe the best defensive player Auburn's ever had. I'm not sure. Anyway, Auburn, they beat number 15th ranked Georgia Tech 9-8 on Tuesday. Their baseball team, as you pointed out, after beating Alabama, they got a bump up in the polls. They're doing pretty good. Overall record for Auburn, 6-6 in the SEC. 23-10 overall, 15-5 at home, 3-5 on the road, 5-0 in neutral sites. So we shall see. Coming up this week, a tough series though. They're going to be at home playing the number 3 team in the country, depending on what poll you look at. LSU's got a great baseball team
and a proud program.
Yeah,
I mean, they're right where they want to be.
Do what now? Okay, I wrote that. Mark that. All right, let's take a little break, and then we'll come back and finish up today. Let's talk about Turf Pro Pest Control. You want the yard to look beautiful? You got insects in the yard, got it coming to your house. Call Patrick. They'll come out. Turf Pro Pest Control. They'll come out. They'll solve all issues. They'll get up a game plan. They'll execute it, and they'll win. They're the best at what they do. Turf Pro Pest Control, number 1. Listen to Patrick every Monday, 8:30, right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. TK Vandy Roofing, they do an incredible job. Vandegrift, what do you expect? Everything that boy touches turns to go. I'm going to go with him when I get it done. Vandy Roofing. Matter of fact, Kyle's going to be with us tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Now, Wednesday through Sunday, the local 115, downtown historical Bay County. Go check it out. Get a crab cake. Get the crab cakes. They're the best you'll ever get. Now, if you're a coach, doesn't matter if you coached a long time ago. Doesn't matter if you're coaching right now. Tell them you're a coach. They're going to recognize you anyway. They're going to give you 15 oysters for $15. They do a great job.
That's a cool deal.
Yes, it's a really good deal. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN North. I feel like I'm forgetting.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the Race to Talladega.
We got Jackson State Jeff on the line. Jackson State Jeff, how are you, my friend?
Man, doing well. How's it going, guys?
We're doing good. That was good. You were ready to go. You probably had 850-215-6290 already on the dial, and boom, knocked it out. David, what was that qualifying time?
2 seconds.
Woo!
From PCB Hobby, Pepsi, Panama City, Toyota, and your racing station. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Thursday. Sunny this afternoon and evening with a wind at 13 miles per hour coming out of the west-southwest and the high of 73. Tonight, look for a gentle breeze and clear skies with a temperature near 67. Tomorrow, a high around 76 and mostly sunshine. Saturday out with a high of 71 and sunshine. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hi, folks. It's Tracy from Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Did you know that we have a master jeweler right here in the store? That's right. She has over 20 years experience in the art of repairing jewelry. Most repairs are done within a week. So don't send your jewelry off for 6 weeks. Bring it to us at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We size rings and solder chains. We can reset your diamond into a new setting and even custom design. You'll get your jewelry back quickly and looking as good as new. Tracy's Fine Jewelry, Bay County's trusted jeweler for over 50 years.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts and Deli. Call 763-1627.
If aliens showed up tomorrow and said, take us, you'd bring them to the Coach James Hale Show.
Danger, Bill Robinson, danger.
Live from the J. Michael Studio on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're talking basketball. I'm going to finish, give a little love to the girls program. I thought South Carolina might get it done, but this other program is incredible. Most women's tournament wins, okay? Who's number 1? Tell me who they are. We got the top 10. Let's see if you get the top 10. How many do you get right in the top 10?
Of women's tournament?
Yes, tournament wins. Women's basketball.
UConn's in there.
Number 1.
Tennessee is in there.
Number 2.
Louisiana Tech is in there.
Number 5.
They're not as dominant as they once were. Stanford.
This guy's incredible. Yeah, they're in there.
Pretty good.
Let's see. After that, got a
SEC. Georgia Bulldogs,
Wow.
number 7.
How about that?
59.
59. Okay.
All right. Okay, a couple more to go.
A couple more to go here.
There's another SEC school in there.
South Carolina.
Recent run, but I don't know that's enough.
Yeah.
Help me. Come on. Think about it.
The LSU. I think they're sort of also around here too.
No, now you got ACC, you got the Big 12 and SEC teams that are still out there, and one Big 10.
One Big 10 team. Okay.
One Big 10. They just hired a new coach for the men's side.
Indiana? No.
He came from Texas A&M.
Maryland. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I still think of them as ACC.
Maryland,
sorry. It's ingrained.
Maryland has 55 tournament wins.
Really?
Okay,
Wow.
come on.
That's true.
Y'all are getting close now.
I want to say Kentucky, but I just don't know.
No.
In the SEC. We got one missing in the SEC.
SEC.
How about that? Boy, it's just been so defined by Tennessee in a previous era that hard to see anybody
They're
else.
a new member.
Okay, Texas.
Texas Longhorns, 56.
Yeah, they're Southwest Conference.
56 tournament wins. All right, you got 3 more.
3 more.
3 more. Y'all done a great job, by the way. Y'all really have.
Really? Knocking it out of the park.
3 more. What conferences?
One, okay, you got one in the ACC. You got one in the Big 12. And you got one independent.
And one independent. So Notre Dame hanging out.
Notre Dame. I gave that away.
Yeah,
You're doing good, Jeremy.
All right.
You're down to 2.
One Big 12 and one ACC. ACC women's basketball.
Big name.
Duke.
Yeah. This guy, unbelievable. Josh, come on. You got to get this last one.
And then Big 12.
One team. One team
out of the current Big 12, which could be anybody.
Yeah, now it's national.
Right, yeah.
They've got, this will help you. They got 58 tournament wins.
58 tournament wins there. Gosh, this one's...
Their football team this year is actually going to play a team out of the SEC.
Was this Baylor?
Baylor. Golly, Jeremy, that's awesome,
stuff.
man.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. How many minutes did it take him? 5 to get it right? That's record-breaking. That's great, man.
4 and 10 seconds or something.
I'm so proud of you.
Well,
let me ask you this, too. Let me see if you get this right.
Oh, I'm done with the
No, come on. You're good. You're good. Now, Josh, it's not fair to you. You're too young. 1970, name the teams of the Southwestern Conference. They're all in the state of Texas except for one. Who are they?
You've got Texas.
Yes.
A&M.
Yes.
Southern Methodist.
Yes.
Rice.
Yes.
You've got Texas Tech.
Yes.
You've got Arkansas is the one that's not in there. Houston.
Come on.
Oh, come on. Who else then? Baylor.
Yes.
Old Southwest Conference team.
This guy's incredible.
Who else was Southwest Conference? How many have I named?
You got all of them but one.
Yeah.
You're down to one.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah. Let's see. I've got one missing. I thought it was Houston, but no, it's not Houston. So who we got hanging out there? I'm drawing a blank.
That when we were doing it, that's the one I couldn't get either.
Let's see.
I could not think of it. Then I finally figured it out. They played they made the playoffs. They made the playoffs. This team has made the playoffs. They were embarrassed, but they made the playoffs. Breaking news, Georgia scored again.
Oh, Texas Christian. Yeah.
TCU. Jeremy, you're incredible.
Well, they should still be in the Southwest Conference.
What happened to TCU when they played in Birmingham, Alabama against the legendary Paul Bear Bryant? And he made this former player from TCU, an honorary member of the Alabama team. And he paid for his kids free education, go to Alabama to Bear Bryant. Anybody played for Coach Bryant, any of their kids that played for him, got to go to school free. You know who it was?
Yeah, there was a young man who broke his neck there.
Absolutely.
Kent, I think
Kent's
Waldrop or something.
Yeah, I think it's right.
And he died just recently.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, he did pass away there, and that story was told again of how after the game, Bryant went to the hospital and and then took
he
a personal.
cried out in the hallway with his parents, but when he was in there, he was tough.
Yeah, and that he said to him, he said, we're going to care for you.
You're one of us.
Yeah, brought him back to Tuscaloosa. Was recognized. I mean, just kind of became.
This was amazing. TCU. He the kid. This is the guy that got hurt. He said, Alabama and Coach Bryant did more for me than my own school. When I was through playing, they still supported me financially, all kind of different ways. They bought him a van. Coach Bryant was a great man. He truly was a great. I mean, nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. Pass me the bourbon, but he was something else, man.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Let's see, Kent Waldrop, and he played at TCU, paralyzed at Legion Field, and this was an article that circulated that Mal Moore called, and the Bryant scholarship was going to go to his son Trey, making good on what Bryant had said. And he established an endowed scholarship fund that benefited his players, and the only one that wasn't was Waldrop's son.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's unbelievable. I love that. I truly love that. All right, how much time we got, Wildcat? Jeremy, what you got time?
Yeah.
What's going on down in church? You got a lot of work coming up.
For all of our churches, they're getting ready for Holy Week and Palm Sunday and Maundy, Thursday, Good Friday, Easter, and pray for us. It's a busy time. A lot going on. A lot of folks will make their way, and certainly looking forward to that at First United Methodist Church again this year there in Panama City. We've got all of our information on our Facebook page and website if you want to learn more about service times and see what our plans are there. We do have a sunrise service for the Cove community there at St. Andrew Bay Yacht Club. They'll be right there on the water. That's always a great start to the day before we move up to the campus and have all of the services there. So come join us.
County office, anything you want to share with us? Anything going on down there?
Just getting ready for winding down the spring sports. We're almost to playoffs for baseball district championships next week, and then softball and track. The Bay County track meet is today at Tommy Oliver. Starts at 1:00. So if you're around and want to come watch our amazing athletes, 1:00 at Tommy Oliver today. We got the Bay County track meet.
These are some big-name teams that have the worst odds. This is out of Vegas, and they usually know what they're talking about. This is the teams that have the worst odds to win the national championships this year. Here we go. Southern Cal Trojans, plus 12,000 to win a national championship. So you're saying they got a shot, right?
Yep.
Another tied with them with 12,000, Texas Tech. Kansas State should be better. They only get 12,000 chance. That can happen. Iowa, people talking about them being better. Ain't going to happen. Nebraska, which is really improved, but they're plus 12,000 too. So don't look for any of those schools right there. Don't put any money on them to win a national championship.
Well, I've got one more for you, kind of in that vein, since you were looking at sort of the cellar dwellers. I want to give a shout out to Yeshiva University and Lehman College. I sent you this the other day.
I saw that.
All right, so if you have no idea what I'm talking about here, they went into a doubleheader. Yeshiva had lost 99 consecutive baseball games. Lehman had lost 42 consecutive games, and they were scheduled to play a doubleheader. Guess what happened? They split. So Lehman came out and won the first game, which meant Yeshiva had lost 100 consecutive games in baseball. But in the nightcap, Yeshiva comes back and holds off a late Lehman rally and gets their first win in 100 games to split the doubleheader 9-5. So
I wonder what state those teams are from. They're not Florida baseball teams.
No.
Got to be probably Kentucky.
But it isn't baseball beautiful here? I mean, they both got a win after so many months of misery.
All right, tell me the top 3 coaches in the country, 1, 2, and 3, most national championships. Who are they? 2 of them from the great state of Alabama.
I don't want to stop Jeremy's hot streak. He's been on fire today.
Numbered national championships.
Yeah.
Saban's in there.
Saban's number 1 with 7.
Bryant's
number 2 at 6. Who's number 3?
Number 3.
Huge name. One of my favorite coaches all time. Legend. Not in the SEC.
Mac Brown. No, Mac
he didn't win that many.
I know he's one of your favorites.
He is. Yeah, I love him. He texts me happy birthday. I love him. You got any idea? He's in Big Ten.
Big Ten.
Old school.
Wow.
Got a temper. He will hit you.
Oh, Shem Buckner. No, Woody Hayes.
Woody Hayes.
I was trying to get to Michigan there.
Woody Hayes won 5. Oh, we're already done? Hey, guys, y'all did a great job. That went by fast. We're out. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves are back.
Here comes the throw. It's late. Braves win.
And ESPN Northwest Florida is your exclusive radio home for Braves country.
He just